So yesterday we did not have grey skies like that. We had lovely blue skies, and Mum and I, we just trimmed the edges, we cut the grass and just tidied everything up a bit. I think it looks good. Now this looks really messy, but I think Mum has to do a few more deadheading of the bulbs there, but I'm going to leave those there until I'm ready to put other things out on display. And she did the same thing here with the little daffodils. She deadheaded those, because if you deadhead them, so see the way she hasn't like cut off like all the foliage, just like the little top part, it just means that the energy will go back down into the bulb for next year. Get the sea of tulips. Oh, I just love them. I just wish they weren't so floppy. I'm going to remember that for next year. Future me, future Karen, remember that these go floppy. Maybe I just needed to plant more of them in there to kind of give more of support to each other. Look, I can see the alliums. Allium heads are like ready to burst open. I love alliums because you get so much kind of colour and structure in the garden. So like long after they're like not going to be pink or purple or white or whatever colour they're going to be, they'll have like the little seed heads. Okay, I'm very behind with my potatoes, but I have them ready to go. This one looks a bit worse for wear. So yeah, I'm just going to plant all these out, and I have the grow bags, not grow bags, but like sorry, it's called like this, like this one. So this, well, I thought this had just like old soil. I kind of use this to stop the greenhouse from blowing over in the wind, but I must have left a little seed in there, so I might actually just put a couple more in there and see. So what I'm going to do is, probably not going to be able to earth all that one up. Maybe I'll be able to flatten this out. So I'm going to put the seed potatoes, or the seed potatoes, a couple more in there, and then when they start to grow foliage like this, just keep covering it over with clay. And so then what'll happen, not clay, compost, soil. So what'll happen is then the soil will come up to the top, and then we'll have hopefully a bag of potatoes later in the year. I might empty this out and put some potatoes in this pot too. So it's quite a big pot, but like you could do them in smaller pots. We tried in that pot as well. I just want to try something different just to see what we can do. And I like the idea of putting potatoes in pots, because then you can move them around, you know, if you need to get them out of the way. They're not taking up like your whole veg bed for months at a time. I have a feeling that this is going to be a challenging year when it comes to growing vegetables. I'm trying not to think negatively, but I have a fear that it's going to be like a really damp summer. But listen, we will make it work. We will try to adjust, because at the end of the day, Mother Nature is the boss and she is going to be in control. It's up to us to try and figure out and navigate how to garden differently. I know I'm experimenting this year with potatoes, trying to grow them in bags, and you'll see now in a few minutes that I'm going to be trying to grow some of them in the end of one of the veg beds. We'll see if it works. I've never done it before, but I've never also done potatoes in like regular plant pots. I've done them in those bags before. But listen, this is how we're going to learn. This is how I learn as well, is by experimenting. Yes, I like doing research as well, but I also like to just see and give it a go, give it a bash and see what the story is. I loved doing this. This is a little plant that I got that's covered in that liverwort, which tells me that it's really, really damp again. Now, this was inside my house, and it's a little lavender plant from a brand that was sent. I think it's Zarbee's is the name of the brand. So I just said, do you know what? I'm going to give this little lavender plant a new home. And I remembered that I had this pot that I bought a couple of years ago with the hole at the bottom. I'm just going to put a crock over the bottom so that there's lots of drainage, and then also add lots of horticultural grit into the compost just to give it the drainage, because this, like, lavender is one of the Mediterranean plants. They don't like the soil to be really moist or heavy, so at least the grit will help to encourage drainage, not let it get too waterlogged, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. That's my mission, to keep an eye on it. Just want to make sure I give this a good start at life. Because you know me, I do love my lavender. It just makes me really happy. And while I will not be going to Provence this year, this will be the closest that I'll get to it. So it'll be fine. Experimenting for the first time ever, putting potatoes in a raised bed. Usually I do them in the pots or the potato bags, but I just thought I'd give this a go. And I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put them in the bed. Initially I was thinking there, but I think I want to put the corn and the cob here, and I think that they will take a lot of the potential light away from the potatoes. So we've put them there for now. It just means I'll be careful whenever I'm digging up the tulips, whenever the bulbs go over, so that I can store them. But yeah, I think those two beds there will be flowers, and this will be veg in some capacity. I'm thinking corn on the cob, maybe a few carrots, potatoes. We'll see. This is all an experiment. This is what I love. I've ticked off today's job, which was plant the potatoes, 2 in the potato bag. This had my heart broke. It would not go around the rim. See the way it is on this one? Couldn't get it to go around there, so it'll be fine. And then again, another experiment. I wanted to try planting potatoes in a pot. So if you have like a balcony or a small area and you want to try growing potatoes, we'll give it a go. We can experiment and see. See this in the sky? That's the sun. I think we've seen it for about 5 minutes so far over the last like month or so. It's so bad. But anyway, I'm not going to give out about that. Today, I'm going to show you kind of some of my failures, you know. So a couple of weeks ago, I was filming planting the potatoes. They have been so slow at growing. I don't even know. I think I left them in the chitting for too long. But you know, from seeing people's comments and chatting on DMs on Instagram, so many people are in the same boat in that the weather's been rubbish. It's been really just damp and cold. But like now I have a bit of heat on my body, which is lovely. I haven't even planted these. All these, my ranunculus. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to soak them now. Because I have some orange ones and pink ones. Because apparently if you soak them, they'll germinate quicker. So we'll see. We'll see. What else do I have? Oh yeah. Not about them. So like, I hope you can hear me over the breeze. So we've got like the pink and the white gladiolus, which are starting to sprout, but you know what? Better to plant them. I'm just going to put them in pots, I think, for now, because I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, because I need to weed that border. Hopefully, if the weather's nice over the weekend, Mum and I are going to tackle the patio where we are now. What have you been up to in the garden? Let me know in the comments below. Like, have you been delayed in planting stuff? I'm going to show you an update, because on Sunday, actually Sunday was really nice, but I was going to visit my brother and sister-in-law, and like the plant mom, and I've done this for years. This is why I don't understand. I've done this for years, where every morning I would like take my seeds out, because like the patio table here gets a lot of sun, and like it kind of holds the heat, so I can kind of heat them from the bottom. So I took my seedlings out, left them out, made sure that they were watered and everything, and then I came back and so many had shriveled up, and they had looked so healthy at the start of the day. So I was looking it up going like, why? And I think I sun scorched them. There was too much sun. Like the irony that the sun killed them. Anyway, I haven't, today's Wednesday. I haven't gone near them since Sunday. So I'm going to go and have a little investigation, and you're going to come with me. Let's go through this emotional roller coaster together. Okay, so these seem to be doing okay. There's like a little pepper in the back, and my tomato seedlings that I bought in the garden centre a couple of weeks ago. And then these are some of the zinnias. So they're doing okay. Probably need to water them. I'll do that after, right? And then we have, I don't know, something that I potted up a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember. I need to like go back and look at my own video, but I think it's a dahlia. I think that's a dahlia as well, but nothing's happened there. And then these are other things. I can't remember what they're called, but I will look at my own video, right? So I've kind of kept them covered with like one of these things just over the top, to kind of help keep the heat in, the moisture, but then also stop the slugs. I probably still need to do that because the slug. Anyway, I'm after putting my little cuttings in here of my verbena just to give them a little bit of heat. But I just don't want them to go mad in the sun. So this is my Amy Mages. So see, there's some of the tips have been scorched there, but the rest of them look okay. So I put it down here because this is kind of more shaded. Like it still gets light, but like no direct light. So we're okay with those. And like, look at this. So I think this is like definite too much moisture. But like these are my little, I think they're the little Dorrit sunflowers. I'm after ordering more. No, actually they all died. These are different types of sunflowers, so I'm after ordering more seeds because I really want little Dorrit sunflowers. Yeah, I think these are like a couple of my own seeds, so I'm going to leave them out because maybe I shouldn't give them direct sunlight. Oh god, this is the pressure here. Put them there. I'm just going to let these water from the bottom anyway. So yeah, my corn on the cob is doing well. Okay, and then all along here were like little pea shoots, and they just shriveled up and died in the course of the afternoon last weekend. So that's a shame, but listen, I have millions of pea seeds. I can do more of those, and I think what I'm going to do is when I sow them in like single pots. But no, we need the corn on the cob, and I think I just sowed a load of them, so I'm going to give some to me, some to me. So I'm going to keep some of them and then give some of them to Joanne and Will, and then have one courgette plant or seed that germinated. Like, that's not great. Like, now I'm like, do I leave this off to get sun? Oh, I don't know. This is not a huge amount of growth here, but like some of the seedlings have come on. But I think I'll probably water them in that yoke so that they water from the bottom, and I'll put the lid back on, just protect it. But like sowing seeds is my favourite thing, and I'm just making a hames of it this year. And we have the calendula and what's the other thing? Oh, cosmos. And again, if I leave them out in the sun, they'll just wither and shrivel like the way some of these have. So I just don't know. I'll leave this over the top anyway with like, hold on. Maybe like that, so like a little bit of air can get out, but they're getting like the heat. So they're getting like the heat of a greenhouse essentially. But like, I had to get rid of so many sunflowers last week. In more positive news, look, little straws. So that's good. I'm going to actually give that a feed. We only ever do strawberries in pots because you can move them around, because they take up a lot of space in the veg bed. Like, it's been about 10 days since I planted the potatoes and there's nothing happening. Oh, probably have to lift the bulbs soon because they're all flopping over and dying. So I need to rethink that now for next year, because this just wasn't as like vibrant and as kind of as powerful as, not powerful, as impactful as I thought that it would be, because they all just flopped over. It's nearly open. I love alliums. Oh, I can't wait to shoot these with my camera with the lens. Oh, I have a pea. That's like a little, oh, another one. It's like a little rogue pea plant that was in there. Well, that's good. That makes up for all the other ones that I killed. Let's soak the ranunculus. So I put the pink in the pink and the orange in the orange, and we'll just leave them in there for a couple of hours. Now the back of the packet says to plant in April. Now today is the 1st of May, so listen, aren't they just a gorgeous colour? Orange. So that's what they look like now. They look like aliens slash spiders slash like dementors. And the pink ones look bigger than the orange ones. Anyway, don't let me forget that they're there, okay? Because I think if you leave them in for too long, they'll go mouldy. I think whenever I do plant them, I'm going to put them in pots. Okay, let's go. Sorry, I meant to say to you, I dug this up, my lupin, because it was getting chopped to bits by the slugs. And it's looking really healthy. Just been sitting it on a pot on the top of the table, because I'm like, right, if the slugs are going to get it, I'm going to make them work for it. So I was actually looking this morning, so that's what this one looks like in pots, just in peat-free compost. And then this is the one that was planted in the ground, and I'm stating the obvious, but like, you can see all the slug juice. Oh, I need to put my shell things around it. Keep forgetting. But like, yeah, it's mad because like some of the little things are much longer, the little stems. I love that the osteospermum have come back. They're gorgeous. Like, look at the colour when they're just starting to come out. Oh. God, we're supposed to be doing greenhouse stuff and I'm like getting distracted. The little roses are starting to bud. So I will be tying that in, because I'd love for it to reach just even like across, even like to that one there would be fab. Looks like this is the pink. You get really like small kind of fuchsia pink roses, and then this one is, what is that? One is a climbing, one is a rambler, and this is like a pale pink. And look what else I noticed when we were cutting the grass. recently. This is a geranium that I planted, so I told Mum not to do an Edward scissor fingers on it. Now, something else that was a failure, that well, first of all, like, the weeds love this bed, which is really annoying, but I did have a Nepeta there, and that's after dying back. And like the buddleia is after sprouting, like I don't know what this year, that's mad. And like my honeysuckle as well, so I'm gonna tie that in over to like that trellis. I might put like another trellis here maybe, because that'll be gorgeous. Just maybe that was the wrong spot for the Nepeta for the catmint. So I have another catmint here. Oh wait, is that a bit of growth? Okay, that seems to be coming back. Okay, never mind. Sorry. There's like a little shoot there. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Get my mum to cut that back. That'll give her joy, because you know, Edward scissor fingers. But this year I'm really gonna cut back on the number of pots that are gonna be on here. I'm gonna plant some stuff out, and just kind of give us a little bit more space on the patio. Something that is working are my rose cuttings. Like, look at the little shoots. I'll link that video below if you want to see how I did it. What I just followed Anya, the garden fairy, and I got 5. That's good. And actually, Mum was out at a garden centre there recently, and she bought a plant, a rose. Oh no. So it's this, the wider shade of pale. Isn't that gorgeous? So we're going to figure out where to put that. I'm going to leave it in the pot for now, because over the course of the next while, there'll be stuff happening. So I'm probably going to have to dig up these plants here, and kind of this border will start where the rose bush is. So I need to figure out where to put that rose. But I want to get it right, do you know? Let's just even sit and listen to the noise of that tree over there in the wind. It's gorgeous. Oh lads, we've needed this. Does your heart good. Can I just say that my wheelbarrow is probably one of my favourite purchases for the garden. I don't have a huge garden. I'm not like a farmer or anything like that. I don't have an allotment, but it means that I'm kind of helping my back, and as well I'm being more efficient because I can put the big huge bags of compost in there. I can load it up with plants, plant pots, any tools that I have, and it's just a really, really handy thing. And you know what, my nephew Matthew loves it as well, loves playing in it, loves wheeling it around. Happy days. And I find that planting bulbs or sowing seeds is a really therapeutic thing for me in the garden, especially on a nice sunny day like this, because it's just like, I don't know, it's really a methodical job. And I think as well, because I now film the garden videos on my phone, it's easier for me, just a bit more convenient. It means that I'm not able to listen to podcasts or music whenever I'm filming. So rather than feeling like I'm always having to multitask, I can kind of really focus on what I'm doing in the garden, which I really like. Now, in saying that, for jobs like this, it's nice. For jobs like when I go to weed that border, it's not going to be as nice. I might film that part on my camera so that I can listen to something on like a podcast or a piece of music, because I will need to be distracted for that job. Because like, let's be real, weeding is not fun times. It's not therapeutic. It's hard work. But you know what? I'm excited to get it done, and at least I can tick that off the list. And I'm excited to see if my ranunculus and if my gladiolas bloom this year. I've never grown them before. When I've tried to grow ranunculus before, and it was not successful. But listen, as this video shows, I'm going to have a lot of garden failures. And you know what? As I said before, that's how we learn. That's how I learn, is by experimenting and trying things out and seeing what works, and then trying to remember what worked and what didn't for next year. Okay, I'm going to water these. Maybe I'll leave them in the greenhouse, give them a little bit of heat, because I think this weekend, the next few days, is supposed to be grey and miserable as per usual. But even that, I feel the better of having done that. And actually, I think I've had a bit of an epiphany about my feelings. Let's chat. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to position my head to be in front of the neighbours' houses. Okay, now, I had a bit of an epiphany there today when I was doing, and you know what? This happens all the time when you're doing well, for me, when I'm doing something methodical, whether it's, you know, sowing seeds or planting bulbs like there, or cutting the grass, or like cleaning the house. That's when I get my epiphanies, or when I'm journaling as well. But I was like, what feels different about the garden this year? Yes, we've had rubbish weather, but that's been across the board. But then I realised that I think because the sunny days, the nice days are so few and far between, that I can't film any of the other days when it's like miserable. And then also when it's sunny like this, I have to film. I can't kind of just sit and enjoy the garden or enjoy the sunshine. And I just feel like there's a lot of pressure. Self-imposed, like completely. I know that you guys wouldn't mind if I went to like put the videos to every second week, but I really enjoy kind of documenting what I'm doing at the moment. It's just hard when Mother Nature is against you, but anyway, it'll be fine. I just hear the bees buzzing around me. It's lovely. I feel like this was good for the soul, to be getting out. I'm hoping that this month will bring brighter days where I can be out a little bit more, so that I can do all the boring jobs that I'm not gonna like bother filming. Then next week's video might be a little bit different because it's Catherine's book launch on Thursday, and so on Thursday we're going to go out gallivanting. It's what we did the last time she launched a book. We went out for the day, so we're going to do that. So I might vlog a bit of that and then put it up on Sunday just for the chats. I feel like I haven't seen her in ages, but we have so many plans to go out to like different gardens. She got I think it was Gardener's World magazine, she got that recently, and they had inside like a little section on Irish gardens, like, you know, the fancy gardens that we like to go to. So we're going to do that, weather depending. I tell you, this country is stunning when it's sunny. Thanks a million for watching. I will see you in next week's video, and if you've had any garden fails yourself, please let me know. I just feel like I'm a really bad plant mom this year. I just want these to survive. My little sunflowers. I'm just gonna like sit here for a minute. I think it's supposed to get cloudy in a couple hours, so I'm just gonna sit here and like look at the sky and just be like, oh, that's what it's like to have blue sky. Anyway, see you next week.